What's going on with my people? Checking in with my people. Like, share, subscribe. What's going on with my people? Checking in with my people. Like, share, subscribe. Because the party don't start till we step in. What's going on with my people? Checking in with my people. Like, share, subscribe. Because the party don't start till we step in. Yeah, for the real only. Yeah, for the righteous only. Yeah, this is dedicated to the ancestors. Aye! Big salute, big salute, big salute, big salute. Mm. Big salute to all my loved ones, support goon, support squad. Mm, mm, mm. Big salute to all my big old angels out there. Big salute, angels. Big salute to you. You know I love you. And big salute to all the righteous revolutionaries. Let's go, righteous revolutionaries. Let's go. Keep going, righteous revolutionaries. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, you know, we still got them custom power pack pieces on deck. Yeah, we done upgraded our game a little bit. You know, God willing, more upgrades to come. Yeah, God willing, more upgrades to come. So make sure you order your custom power pack pieces. Yeah. All my contact information is in the description below. In the description below. And make sure you like, share, subscribe. Yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Oh, and let me give a big salute to all the new subscribers and the people that's tuning in, tapping in. Like, share, subscribe. Man, let's jump straight into it, man. This pre-record is donated to the ancestors. Donated to the ancestors. Ooh, now I haven't watched this whole thing, so we're gonna be learning something together. Yeah. This is for the ancestors right here, baby. It's for the ancestors right here. So let's jump straight into it. Disclaimer alert. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Entertainment and educational purposes only. Let's go.
Robbing us of our culture, history, language, and identity, the ripping apart of family units and royal bloodlines, the absolute and complete torment of our fathers and mothers before us. The Middle Passage was a devastating event, culminating into the displacement and death for millions of Africans and their descendants around the world. This event left the diaspora dehumanized, constantly seeking the freedom that humanity was supposed to provide. Though at times we were pinned as being docile, complacent, and submissive in our pain, today we have the opportunity to tell the whole story, a story of redemption and righteousness, a story in which Africans exemplify courage, determination, and the splendid magnificence of the human spirit. The persistent resistance of African people during enslavement, fighting for their humanity, made them world leaders, their struggle endowed as a model driving all of humanity forward. What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And as usual, if you like these videos and would like to support in the continued production, gaining access to sources, courses, and exclusive videos, you can support the Home Team on patreon.com.
Yeah,
The
home
link
team.
is in the
Home
description box
team. Make
below.
sure y'all like,
Today, we're
subscribe.
going to talk about the top 10 greatest slave rebellions in the African diaspora. So let's get right into it. Starting off at number 10, we have the slave rebellion at San Miguel de Guadalupe. In 1526, the settlement of San Miguel de Guadalupe was founded by a Spanish explorer named Lucas Vasquez. It was the first European settlement in what became the continental United States. Scholars aren't exactly sure where this settlement was within the United States. Some say Georgia, and others even say near Jamestown, Virginia. Regardless, the Africans imported there refused to be enslaved. Vasquez had brought a group of roughly 100 seasoned enslaved Africans and natives from Spain. The enslaved Africans rebelled, with many escaping and taking refuge amongst some of the other native populations. Ironically, one of the first, if not the first, slave rebellion within the continental United States was a successful one. The surviving African slaves were considered the first non native settlers in the region and were pretty much absorbed into the local population. Coming in at number 9, we have the 1842
Y'all folk been fighting since they got here. Yeah, we been here. We right here.
slave revolt in the Cherokee Nation. For whatever reason, history tends to ignore all the native Indian tribes that had purchased and mistreated enslaved Africans. The Cherokee were one of the biggest perpetrators of this. The rebellion on Indian Cherokee territory took place in Oklahoma and was the largest escape of a group of slaves that occurred amongst the Cherokee. The slave revolt started on November 15th, 1842, when a group of 20 African American slaves owned by the Cherokee escaped and tried to reach Mexico, where slavery had been abolished in 1836. Along their way south, they were joined by 15 slaves escaping from the Creek in Indian Territory. They raided local stores for weapons, ammunition, horses, and mules. The Cherokee amassed a small army along with some Choctaw warriors to pursue them and eventually caught up. Because they were tired and ran out of food and other provisions, they were all rounded up successfully and brought back, with some even being executed for the insurrection. This Cherokee rebellion was penned, and I quote, as the most spectacular act of rebellion against slavery among the Cherokee Nation.
Hmm.
For number 8, we have one of the most popular rebellions in American history, Nat Turner's Rebellion.
Look,
Nat Turner, even as a child, was said to possess an unusual sense of purpose. Via hindsight, we can all understand why. It was as if Turner was destined to show the world the magnificence of the human spirit. Driven by prophetic visions and joined by a host of followers, Nat Turner and about 70 armed enslaved men and free blacks set off to slaughter the white neighbors who enslaved them. In the early hours of the morning, they killed Turner's master, his wife, and children with axes. By the end of the next day, the rebels had attacked about 15 homes and killed between 55 and 60 whites as they moved toward their promised land. An idea advanced greatly through his religious vigor. The rebellion was famously put down, and Turner was eventually captured and killed. But the way in which he used the religion of his enslavers to turn against them and rally the troops was nothing short of spectacular. And today, Nat Turner is immortalized for it in American history.
big salute, Nat Turner. Now we ain't finna do this whole video due to copyrights. So let's go to another one. What happened in Louisiana? Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer alert. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Entertainment and educational purposes only. Let's go.
They came from diverse backgrounds. Some spoke English, others French. Some had spent their entire lives in Louisiana, while others hailed from West African warrior nations. About the only thing they had in common was that they had been subjected to the atrocity of American slavery, and that they were willing to risk their lives to obtain freedom at the point of a sword.
In January 1811, 500 slaves of the German coast, the fertile agricultural region just upriver from New Orleans, rose in active rebellion against their masters. This was not the chaotic uprising of an angry mob. It was a highly organized, meticulously premeditated challenge to the slave owner class. Its leaders had a clear objective: to capture the city of New Orleans and establish a.
Now, I don't really want to hear it coming from the other people. I like hearing my history come from us. Yeah, I like hearing our history come from us. Let's see what else we can find. Woo! Now this the way to start your morning off. Woo! Revolution for breakfast, baby.
Our culture,
Yeah, revolution for breakfast, baby. Yeah, for the ancestors. Yeah, for the ancestors. Yeah, Nat Turner is the most popular. Seem like Nat Turner the only one we could find. Oh. Let's see what photos.
Factsverse presents photos of slavery from the past that will horrify you. Number 1. The Slave's Shackle, 1907. This is a horrifying photo. It is a picture of a British sailor removing the shackles on a slave's ankle in 1907. In order to keep the slaves in line during the journey from Africa, they had to keep them in shackles. This was to keep the slaves from running away. A very sad photo. Number 2. A woman and her slaves.
Oh, disclaimer alert. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Entertainment and educational purposes only. Let go.
When you first look at this photo, you wouldn't know that the men are slaves judging by the way they are dressed. The major clue is when you look down at their feet and you see they have no shoes on. In the 1860s, slaves were not allowed to wear shoes. Number 3. Slave children. Seeing photos of adult slaves is bad enough, but seeing child slaves is completely heartbreaking.
Yeah, they did.
Fortunately, by the time these children grew up, slavery was abolished. This gave them both a chance at a happy.
Look at them babies. Come on, man. Look at them babies, man. Look at them babies.
And productive life. Number 4. The African slave ship. Of all the photos of slavery from the past that will horrify you, this is possibly the worst. Back in slave days, ships went to Africa and they pulled these poor people from their homes to put them on ships and bring them overseas to be slaves. The number of Africans on the ship is heartbreaking. Number 5. U.S. prisoners forced to be slaves. This is a photo of United States prisoners who were captured and forced to be slaves during the war. The Japanese treated these poor people badly until they were either killed or freed. This photo shows you how there are so many sad things about this picture. It's difficult to high school, hanging out with their friends.
Oh man, see, even threw the whole swag off. This supposed to be for the ancestors. Let's see what this one is.
Of these decks was sticky and filled with the stench of dirt.
Disclaimer. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Entertainment and educational purposes only.
The idea that I am not human, that I have no soul, that I'm a beast. Brand me, burn me, whatever. No recourse, nothing.
The history of humanity is filled with oppression, dominance, war, and slavery. Since the beginning of time, people in different parts of the world have forced their fellow humans to refer to them as just slaves. might have heard of the triangular trade, right? And how Africa was a major part of this trade, although suffering economically, while the other two parts that made up the triangle enjoyed huge economic benefits. We'll get to that shortly. The first slave voyage from Africa to the Americas is believed to have sailed in 1526. But even before this period, Africans were bought as slaves directly from Europe, and even native inhabitants of America were also enslaved by European explorers. Before 1518, the Spanish monarchy didn't permit the transportation of African slaves from Africa, not due to a sense of moral value or humanity, but because they believed Africans were barbaric and that they would corrupt the European society and introduce pagan and non-Christian practices to the country. However, over the years, due to economic reasons, there was a U-turn in that decision, and on August 18, 1518, King Charles V granted a charter to Lorenzo de Goravade to transport 4,000 slaves directly from Africa to the Spanish-American colonies. Over time, King Charles changed the law established by his grandparents and then permitted slaves to be brought into Spanish colonies in America from Africa on the condition that they would be
That's Queen Elizabeth great granddaddy. Now let's see what Britain had to do with it.
What Penny neglected to tell his slaves was that he'd sold them to a notorious slave master, Edward Huggins.
The Penny family had trepidation about selling most of their estates to Edward Huggins and his sons because they felt that he was a bit cruel, and they were really worried about what would happen to those estates that they had originally owned. He started as an overseer of a sugar estate when he was just 19 years old. He had no education except what he had here because he was born in Nevis. He was the first generation here. I think basically in those days the fittest survives, and I think that Edward Huggins was really tough, and he didn't stand for any nonsense.
The slaves saw Huggins for what he was. They began to run away, first one by one, then in groups. Huggins had them caught and brought them back to the market square for a public flogging.
The first Negro received 365 lashes. Mr. Huggins gave another Negro man 115 lashes, and to a woman 110 lashes. The woman who received 291 lashes appeared young and was most cruelly flogged.
The flogging took so long that the drivers had to alternate laying the lashes on because it was too much for one man to do, in spite of the fact it was quite strong.
Man, we're gonna live with damn. Whoa, they gonna have me mad all day. Damn. For the ancestors, y'all. So all those people talking about, oh, for the ancestors, repping for the ancestors. Come on with the cap, man. Come on with the cap. So this was a little introduction. I'm gonna do, probably a 3, 4, 5-part series for the ancestors. I'm gonna get on here and get to looking. See what information I could bring y'all, to give us motivation. And the rep for the ancestors, man. Real representation of the ancestors. Real black power. Yeah, real black power. Big salute to my bro, Real Life TV. A lot of people don't like to see the real coming together. That's all part of God's will. Yeah, my spiritual brother, my comrade. Somebody that came to my defense when I ain't even know it. So love you, bro. And all my other comrades, all my angels, my woke angels, people that I'm tuned in, tapped with behind the scenes. Big salute to y'all, man. But for those of us that's on the front lines, keeping the fight alive, let's go, righteous revolutionaries. Let's go. For the ancestors. Yeah, for the ancestors. So big salute y'all, man. Y'all stay tuned, y'all. I thought I was ready for ancestral revolution in the morning, but man, just hearing that little bit just touched me. So y'all make sure y'all comment, leave me some comments of who I should, some people that we ain't never heard of. We heard of Nat Turner, we heard of Harriet Tubman, we heard of General Tuesnot down there in Haiti. Y'all give me some people that we ain't never heard of before. Some powerful revolutionaries, some gunslingers, some killers, some people that was about that business, and y'all leave me in the comments, leave me some suggestions in the comments so we can go back and we can recap so we can represent for the ancestors. So I love y'all, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. Gonna go out here and get this day started. Probably ride out here and go check on these chickens. I was supposed to go check on them yesterday, so we'll probably do that here within the next hour or two. So y'all stay tuned. I had to catch y'all before y'all went on the bed. All right, y'all. Love y'all, man. Hey, for the ancestors. Yeah, for the ancestors. And to them ladies that came way out here to go twerk at the castle, oh, I hope your stinking asses stay infested with something. Yeah, I hope you catch something that you can't shake off. Yeah, I hope the ancestors will put something in your ass. Yeah, you probably already got something in your ass. Oh, keep that shit in America, man. Yeah. Keep that in America, man. We don't want that over here. That over here, that's not allowed. Yeah, that's not allowed. Yeah, we got laws and traditions over here. So if you don't want to abide by laws and traditions, stay the hell away from Africa, man. Straight up. Or may the ancestors curse your stinking ass. I love y'all, man. Aye. Yeah, I'm stinking ass, non-traditional, disrespecting the ancestors. Ooh, I hope they. Ooh, I hope ancestors got something for them. Yeah, they got something for them.